How's it going, true believers? It is I, Shane. I'm here with the episode 3 review of Ironheart entitled We in Danger, Girl. Before I go even further, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified of more reviews like this one. My Patreon link is in the description below, so please go ahead and give it a click. Whatever you choose to donate will be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to share, leave a comment. I like all those things, and it really does help. So, I got some issues. This is where, because I was on that upward trajectory outside of the frame of this picture. I just realized that the camera puts I am Groot backwards to my I turged. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I turged. I turged because I got some issues here. I have some issues, especially with Clown, the character. So this is after the heist. Apparently, they all met back up. It's after Riri had her little, her panic attack. By the way, I found it very odd that Joe didn't know who Riri Williams was, because how could you not? Especially if you're a person who's into that tech field stuff. How could you not know a super genius in front of you? IDK. So, some of the characters start talking about, what they're going to do with the money. As a matter of fact, it opens up to Ironheart title and money. Again, didn't take a picture this time. But, Clown has one of those little money guns that shoot the money out. Slug wants to open a Michelin star restaurant back at home. Because sure, Match Report definitely needs one of those. One of the Blood siblings say they miss Stu, because that's something Stu would say. And Riri goes, you mean Rampage? And the recurring joke is that Stu tells them, my code name is Rampage. Call me Rampage. And they're like, we ain't calling you that, Stu. And they still won't. LOL. Clown wants to open up a school for children as a money laundering front for her black market explosives. And I even put in my notes, I do not like this character. This character is weird. She's playing with the hood. And you know what? I skipped ahead early. In the last one, I said they want to analyze it. But she does talk about, she's playing with the hood. Maybe I did. No, she did talk about analyzing. But, they're playing with the hood. And they're all like, what are you doing? She's super unserious. Says things like the hood feels hot, but not in a sexy way. Is edging on theoretical physics. And I'm going, this character does not strike me as someone who would say shit like that. Doesn't feel like it. I get like a crazy who play, you guys play Overwatch? Junkrat. I get a crazy Junkrat character, or I get a character that is like mad scientist, like the one from Flubber, and is chaotic and is super smart. She never really gave me super smart, like understanding thermodynamics and explosions and combustion and chemistry does not make you one that would say things. I'm sorry. That would make her say thermal physics or anything like that. So, doesn't feel like she's that competent. But, like I said, I skipped before. She wants to analyze the hood. And she wants to, Riri's like, oh, we can do it. So, in my initial notes, I'm like, ties with Clown? I don't know. She wants to analyze it, right? But John hits her in the head. John is super aggressive. I don't even know if he's that aggressive in the comics. It's been that long ago, but super, super aggressive. And Riri steps to it. That's what, I skipped early. I apologize, but, he first initial warning, like, you asked too many questions there, Riri. Shut your ass up. He's like, what's your problem? He tells her, back up, little girl. And I like that Riri stands 10 toes down. That is Chi-Town all the way. That is Chi-Town for real. Don't play with us. So, and, she doesn't back up. But Parker breaks this all up. Again, very hood-like. He wants his crime syndicate to be family-ish. Just everybody cool. You made your point. They ain't going to do it again. And so the next hit is on somebody named is Heirloom with Hunter Mason as the CEO. I have looked up the CEO from the last one and from this one. Only reason I remember this name is because I'm looking at it in my phone notes. Does not matter. Those characters don't exist, and they don't matter. Right? We do have Riri talking to John saying, are we The Sopranos, are we Ocean 11? And he's like, and John goes, what is the difference? I like and dislike this at the same time. I like it because his thing is a criminal is a criminal. It don't matter. But there is a difference between Ocean's 11, where they're doing it for it's the Ocean's 11, or is it what, 10, 11, 12? I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of those movies where it's not like a heist movie where it's like, hey, we got to do it for the greater good, man. If we don't steal this, they're going to misuse this, and it's going to be so bad for so many people. We can't have that, man. Think of the kids, man. Think of the kids. So there's a difference between that and there's a difference between Sopranos, where, yeah, it's a mob family. By the way, you keep messing up, get whacked. Whack. You're going to get whacked. Whack, whack, whack. So he doesn't see a difference, which, if you're an asshole, I guess you wouldn't see a difference, right? If you have a point to prove, you wouldn't see a difference. So for those of you out there saying is no difference, then that means you hate Ant-Man too, right? Right? Okay. Yeah. No. I'm done. I'm done. For now. And it's at this point where I do get a little. I'm scratching my head because I'm like, man, we got a lot of damn references in here. Like, I get that so this is where I'm drawing parallels to Tony Stark. I get like the parallels are like Tony Stark made a lot of 80s, 90s. I don't think it made 70s references, but like calling Thor Point Break, and I think he had no, that was Peter Quill that called Thanos Grimace. But still, we get a lot of references through this entire thing. I guess because I'm watching this back to back to back. If it was spaced out, I probably wouldn't be going, damn, there's way too many references in this thing. But it's tons of it. Iconic. She wants to make something iconic. I put something here, and I'm trying to remember. Iconic line, is that the truth? Oh yeah, the Sopranos reference. So many things go wrong because she wants to get a piece of that hood, and she has like these sonic laser cutters, and she is so focused on getting a piece of this hood that she is like, she has so much tunnel vision. And I'm trying to think. I'm going to bring this up in episode 6 review. I promise you I will. But this character has so much tunnel vision at times. And try not to skip ahead. And what is killing me is, okay, I get it. Book smart, street smart. Common sense is totally different things. But as a 21-year-old character, that's not a teenager. I would assume that this character would, like, I don't know. You gotta have flaws in your characters so that they can, defeat them later on. Definitely that is going to come up in another review of mine for this series. And you're probably saying, okay, if you haven't watched the episode, you're saying, okay, what is it? She just want a piece of the cloak of the hood, right? Well, here's the thing. She's going to do it during their next heist. Next heist, they can't have knives, bombs, or the suit because this dude's biolab, if any metal is detected, everything gets shut down. And it goes on lockdown hard. Like, they take all the air out so that it suffocates whoever's not supposed to be in there. The police are automatically called. It is a heist, which harkens me, I think, back to in Avengers vs. X-Men. Man, this is such... I keep blaming Bendis. I don't know if he wrote this, but I'm going to blame Bendis anyway. It harkens back to when Iron Man fought Magneto. And he's like, yeah, I knew I'd be facing you. That's why my suit is mostly super plastics. And I'm like... Sure. I guess Riri don't really have enough time to make a super plastic suit. I don't even know if Tony Stark even did that in the MCU. I digress. Sure. They got Parker got John to apologize to, hit him in the head, because Clown was like, hey, your boy hit him in the head, didn't apologize yet. I like that. So they're gonna live it up today, do all this stuff, blah 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 blah. So trying to see where I'm going to go with this. Okay. Whoever owns the hood. Man, I'm going backwards and forwards. So let me skip to the end. John dies because we were so focused on getting that hood. Things go bad. She had got a little skin, black person skin color tag thing that would imitate skin, and it covered the cutters, so the detection wouldn't detect the detection, wouldn't detect it like a detective, and she can cut a piece while he's talking to this dude. And I guess John figures out that John goes in to save Parker because things go to hell because Riri, the suit, Riri was there with him, and he finds her. He's like, "Oh, you wasn't in there." And he sees she has a piece of the hood, and it's a fight. And he calls her a little bitch. And again, this dude has a knife. This dude brings out a knife. Brings out a knife because he's a dumbass. They're trying to cut her, and things are starting to shut down. And she's doing a good job. Headbutting, beaker smashes. He gets her a couple times because remember, she is this small girl. You are a small girl. You're a small girl, and she doing everything she can. And Natalie, the suit, comes, opens the door, and finds her. Even though she told her, she's like, rescue everybody else first, and she does. Now here's my thing. As those doors were closing, and now this will be a totally different show after this point. Because then you could have invited other characters to show up. And I don't know if, we have a budget, but I don't know if we're just like, besides the budget thing, we don't want to convolute this, even though it's a greater universe. I guess she should be able to take care of her own characters. I would have figured, Black Girl, Ironheart, since she doesn't have the Tony Stark AI to help her, I figure we get Rhodey, who would come down and talk to a little bit like, yeah, heard about you crashing down. I'm still trying to figure my life out, but figured I'd talk to you. Someone from the Ironverse, whether it was Happy, could have been Happy. Strange, why is this white man trying to talk to me? Could have been Gwyneth Paltrow, but Gwyneth Paltrow ain't gonna show up for this shit. Figure could have been any of those three characters, but we still don't know what happened to Rhodey after this because I had not an argument, but I saw somebody on my personal accounts, and we're talking about this shit that's going on with Disney, and person like, well, no, Disney's liberal and they blah blah. It's like, no, Disney's a business, y'all. This is a business, and a lot of times they will bow down to dumbasses. It's funny. People who didn't watch the Marvels. Then it comes out on Disney Plus, and then you watch the Marvels. You go, oh, that wasn't a bad movie like we all lied and said it was. So now we don't have a Monica Rambeau series coming out, which, Tashana plays that role to perfection, and she's one of the best things about the MCU. One of my favorite parts of WandaVision, one of my favorite parts of the Marvels, period. So we won't have that. And I think because of all of the backlash about certain things, probably won't get Armor Wars with Rhodey, which was supposed to be a series and then be a movie, right? Don't know if we're going to get any of those. Can y'all give good actor shows, please? Good and non-problematic actors. Like Don Cheadle could run a show by himself. I don't know why. Whatever. But yeah, I got to the ending first, right? And whoever owns the hood shows Parker that Riri did it. My issue here is if magic and all these incredible things are just in the middle of it. Like we have magic, we have Gods of Thunder, we have Doctor Strange. I don't get how some of this is incredulous to certain characters. New York had an alien invasion. Years prior to this show, half of the population was gone. And then they magically reappeared. I don't know. Just, I don't know. But we're going to go back to how she was able to get the thing with Joe, right? So we find out here, and I can't believe I actually have more of these notes. You know, Joe finds Riri's home. He's being more assertive. Located her. We do get a funny bit where her mom was like, "Who is this middle-aged man?" He's like, "I'm 34. Do I really look middle-aged?" Funny, regardless. And it's like, "Hey, come to the thing. I need you to do some stuff because blackmail, or I tell your mom." Before this, the police come because the last person they called Rampage's phone was Riri, and Stu, Rampage Clark, it dead. DED dead. He did. Again, Natalie has more memories, and when Riri has that panic attack, at the end of this thing, she's calming her down, having her breathe in and breathe out. Okay, whatever. Let me see more of the Chicago thing showing me here. Black Lives Matter. Harold's lower whacker. Like all of it. By the way, someone's shop had socks in it. I think the pizza place that they use as a hideout had white socks in it, and not the Cubs, because there would be a distinction. But it's Chicago, baby. Go Sox. Cubs suck. So Stu is dead. We also find out that Joe is Obadiah Stane because he accidentally dropped his ashes, and it had Obadiah on the baggie. The reason why he called Riri is because he was doing some work on himself and accidentally cut himself open while putting the pieces in there. Excuse me. And so he's Ezekiel Stane. Ezekiel Stane, real character. Did I even bother pulling up any Ezekiel Stane stuff on here? I hope I did, because Ezekiel Stane is actually a fairly interesting character. Which, oh no, I didn't. So hold on. We're going to do this live because Ezekiel Stane deserves that. Which Ezekiel Stane shows up in the Marvel anime. I think it was the anime Iron Man one. Not the anime that they did, that Madhouse did with X-Men and Wolverine and Blade. There's another one. Whereas this universe, they were doing an animated universe, because there's a Punisher Black Widow movie. It's in that same universe. The Technovore, where he fights the Technovore. And actually, Zeke Stane's suit, it's interesting. It's not bad looking. It's black and gray, and that's him, right? This is him. He all bald, like an a-hole like his daddy. Son of the Ironmonger. Dude is a genius. He now has cyborg powers, though. Right? He's a cyborg, basically. Rise of the Technovore. I got that right. 2013. It's actually good. I think I own that movie. I just don't know where. But it's a good movie. Please give it a watch. Pretty sure it's on Tubi. Tubi's free, right? I wrote in my notes that Anthony Ramos looks like a Puerto Rican Walter Jones, the Black Power Ranger. He actually does. That's just, but yeah, so I digress. They have some good heartwarming conversations, back to back here. Riri's wondering if she's actually good because she's doing all these heists. This is before, John gets suffocated. To which, while she's fine, she's like, "I'm sorry. He didn't make it. He did." Oh, by the way, Parker kills the guy. When stuff is going to hell, he kills the dude. Which I'm like, okay, the hood would try not to kill this guy. And this dude's like, well, hey, he was going to give him like some small amount of money, but Parker wants all of it. He has this mission. But when the guy doesn't do it, shoots him. Then we have this nice little invisible guards come in fight, which was pretty decent. Before I get to these words that Zeke slash Joe and Riri had. John told Parker, hey, there's a lot of weird variables and factors going in here. We should hold off on this one. And Parker kept pushing it through. Kept pushing it and pushing it. Like, okay, cool. Again, you have two characters, Riri and Parker, and they're both kind of short-sighted. It's like, I just see the tunnel vision. Again, traits that maybe the hero will grow out of it and see the bad that the bad guy is doing and be like, okay, I don't want that to be me. But they have a nice little heartwarming conversation where, you know, she's wondering if she's good. And one second, where he's asking about why she want to make the suit. Again, talking about she want to make something iconic. And again, much like myself and other characters, like, that's not a real answer. And she talks about Gary, her stepdad, him being killed, you know, that backstory. And he used to put everything together, take things apart and put it back together again just because he could. You know, broken car, broken clock, all those things. That started to actually make me tear up. You know, I deal with grief of losing, you know, father figures and loved ones too. So like, that got me. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Even Joe's like, he says sorry, but at least you had a good example. I had Ironmonger, right? You lucky you had Gary. And Riri tells him, you know, you didn't ask, but you're not your dad unless you choose to be, you know. And you're pretty powerful on your own. The guy who plays Joe slash Ezekiel Stain kind of looks a little bit like Jeff Bridges. And he said he takes Gary's advice. He said, take Gary's advice. Break yourself down and see what you're made of. I'm sure you'll find yourself to be a hero. We'll see by the end of this series, right? I digress. The thing that I didn't understand from my notes before is when Riri was talking to Parker about his hood. And, you know, he's like, magic. And she's like, magic is cool for I don't know. And I'm like, you were just talking about Thor and wizards last episode. It is almost whiplash. That's part of the reason why I was just annoyed. Is the freaking whiplash. Do you all recognize this or not? I get that there is, even in the Marvel comic universe, there's like street level threats. There's, you know, not just city ending threats. Then there's world ending threats, universal ending threats, bunch of different stuff. But how do you next episode talk about Gods of Thunders and magic wizards and all this other shit? And when he goes magic, you go, that's just code for I don't know. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Or you can't, because I refuse to, a friend of mine, we talked about this writing for the show. I refuse to write for the show and goes, oh, maybe that was just her pressing him. No, it's just, it's weird. It is weird. So, I don't know. This is just, and I even wrote here, I talked about her being a genius doesn't stop you from being, I don't know, kind of dumb. You know, she's not to blame for John dying because he shouldn't have brought the knife out like an idiot, but she could have blasted the door open. Like, I'm sorry. I get that we're talking about, you know, well, if a person is panicking, bro, and yeah, Iron Man straight up killed people too. Like, go back and watch that terrible Iron Man 3. He murdered bad guys. Let's not get this wrong. And I get it. Why would I help the person that just tried to murder me? It's probably going to tell everybody. Well, shit. The magical entity that controls the hood already told on you. It already done snitched. So, I don't know. I would have. And this, like, I was on the edge of my seat watching this. I was invested in this. You know, initially in my mind, I was like, this is a 4 out of 5. But, you know, as I was doing my notes and as I was thinking on it, and as I had time to ruminate, it's more like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, this isn't average, and I get it. We got to do characterizations. You know, she got to not panic. And both her and Parker got that tunnel vision. So who's going to stop tunneling first? I get that. But doesn't it make it harder? Right? This thing is magic. You don't know what the hell it can do. All you know, the magical thing can go, she did it. And it literally said she did it. Like, literally showed that you did it. So I don't know why you just didn't blast a hole so he can get air. But like, all right, hold on. Not gonna let you suffocate, but I'm not gonna save you. I don't know. The show could have gone a totally different direction, because then the show could have been, okay, he's gonna tell Parker that you took a piece of the hood and that they can't trust you. So now we're going to have this game of cat and mouse where she needs to figure out what the next heist was and needs to figure out why is he doing all this, and maybe get some help. Because hell, this is the MCU. Characters help other characters. Same thing goes in comics. I mean, what Miss Marvel comics had Captain Marvel and other characters come in. I'm pretty sure Ironheart, besides Iron Man, did Rhodey show up? I think Rhodey showed up at one point in time, and there was a point in when we had was it Irredeemable Iron Man, where Dr. Doom became Iron Man for a little bit? Yeah, they interacted as well, which gotta love when bad guys try to be good guys and the heroes give them so much shit. And it's like, don't y'all want us to reform, or do you just think that we're just always evil? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I get why some people wouldn't have saved him, but some of the dialogue annoyed me. I don't know. I feel like some of the dialogue annoyed me. Some characters acting smarter than I think they should be. Some characters acting dumber than I think they should be. So it's between 3.5 and a 4 for me. This isn't dog water. It's washable. It's watchable, but it isn't pushing any boundaries. It did make me wonder, how the hell is this going to continue? 3 more episodes. How is this going to go? Boy, does it go. There are elements that when you get, you're going to get episode 4 next week, because I had to remember my schedule, but it does go, and it goes. So I toured. Let me know what you think of this episode. Yeah, please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you be notified of more reviews like this one. And you want to help me out, please click that link in the description. It's for the Patreon. Whatever you choose to donate will be graciously appreciated. So, true believers, please be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, all right? Too many of those in the world, okay? Remember, how you live is how people are going to remember you, all right? And remember, you're not alone. There are people out there that love you and care about you. There are folks out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you that. You want to talk to me? My social media is in the description below. Give me a follow. Say hello. Be mellow. We'll be good to go. All right? All right. Because, yeah, I still got some more things to say about this show. And you don't want to miss that 6th one. There's a reason why I had to do this episode by episode, because I have way too much to say, and I did not feel like doing 1 through 6 episode review in one thing, and this would be like an hour. No, we're not doing an hour. So I'll see y'all next time. Excelsior.